A young running back could be taking over in Tampa. I'm Joe Dolan, and this is the Fantasy Points Daily lineup for Wednesday, November 16th, 2022.
It's time for the FantasyPoints.com daily lineup. Staying on top of the latest news and updates around the NFL. Rise and shine, folks. We're taking the field. Here's your host, FantasyPoints.com's Joe Dolan.
Starting at quarterback for the Saints in Week 11. Not sure. Still don't know why the Saints hate Jameis Winston so much, but one thing that's obvious is they're not getting it done with Andy Dalton. Dalton has thrown 6 picks in his last 4 starts, including 2 pick sixes, and he threw for just 174 yards in the Saints' loss to the Steelers this past week. He was picked off twice, and quite frankly, was lucky it wasn't more. So it's no surprise that, per Catherine Terrell of The Athletic, that coach Dennis Allen, quote, said he'll sit down and visit with Jameis Winston. We'll talk to the medical staff, etc. Said they have to do what gives the team the best chance to win. Said he has not made a decision at quarterback yet, but sounds like Winston is a possibility. Now, obviously, Winston's style is different than Dalton. I think the Saints thought Winston's risk-taking style would lead to too many turnovers, but Dalton's turning the ball over with alacrity anyway. So I'm really not sure what they're looking for in their quarterback right now. What I do know is that it's a 3-7 football team that doesn't have its first-round pick. That belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. So what the Saints are doing right now is not working, and there is no incentive for them to lose games this year. Do I expect they'll go to Winston? Yeah, I do. And once they do, I think Chris Olave will continue to be a kind of breakout type of star, but it could well hurt Alvin Kamara in the checkdown game. At running back, could David Montgomery be a league winner? That's because the Bears play second-year back Khalil Herbert on IR on Tuesday with a hip injury. This is obviously a pretty bad injury, and as with any IR stint at this point of the year, it's possible Herbert can miss the rest of the season. Now, the Bears have the league's best and heaviest rush attack, so while this obviously boosts the value of David Montgomery to potential RB1 status, savvy fantasy players in deeper leagues could make a play for rookie Treston Ebner, who ran a 4.43 40-yard dash at 208 pounds in April's NFL Combine, plus had a strong preseason. Actually, that's February's NFL Combine. The draft's in April, Joe. That is a bad mistake on your part. Plus had a strong preseason. Ebner has just 18 regular season carries for 46 yards, but could get a real opportunity here. As for Herbert, if you have an IR spot, stash him. Otherwise, I think he might be droppable. In our RB2 spot, we might have a changing of the guard. The Bucs' Leonard Fournette was involved in the funniest play of the week when he threw an interception on an ill-conceived pass attempt to a slipping Tom Brady. When will teams stop throwing the ball to Tom Brady? It's not like we haven't seen that fail on a big stage before. Lenny tweeted a picture of him throwing the pass with the caption QB2 after Tampa Bay's victory in Germany. But he could also soon be the RB2 for the Buccaneers after their Week 11 bye. Tampa Bay finally got their running game on track with rookie Rachaad White leading the way with his first 100-yard game with 22 carries for 105 rushing on a 64% snap share against the Seahawks. He didn't see a target, though. Now, Fournette, for his credit, also played well with 14 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown, but he did pick up what head coach Todd Bowles called a hit pointer in the third quarter, and he never returned to action. Now, with the Buccaneers going on bye, Adam Schefter of ESPN reports that there's a chance Lenny doesn't even miss any time, but it looks like White could be the lead runner moving forward after his performance in Germany, even if Fournette is healthy enough to play. Well, that's at least what the Athletic's Greg Auman tweeted to our Dr. Edwin Porras, at least. Quote, I'd expect White to start. Who gets more touches rest of the way hinges on who produces. That is from the horse's mouth. Now, Fournette's days as an RB1 for fantasy are well in the past at this point, but he could hold on to RB2 numbers as the lead receiver in this backfield. We have a negative update on Cooper Kupp. Kupp requires surgery for his severe high ankle sprain, which will land him on IR and potentially knock him out the rest of the season. It will be a tightrope procedure from which our Dr. Edwin Porras says he can't see Kupp beating a 5-week recovery time. Now, we're in week 11, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, week 16, maybe. The Rams are last in the NFL in yards per play, and that is with Kupp. He's accounted for 34% of their yards from scrimmage this year, as I mentioned on yesterday's program. And again, quite frankly, I'm surprised it's not more than that. Without Kupp, what will this offense look like, even when Matthew Stafford comes back from his concussion? And it's worth noting that the Rams lost 2 more offensive linemen on Sunday. Left tackle Alaric Jackson is out for the season with blood clots, prayers up, while right guard Chandler Brewer could miss the rest of the year with an MCL injury. And from a fantasy perspective with Kupp, what's their incentive to rush him back if they're, say he misses the minimum 4 weeks and they're 4-9? They don't benefit from losing games because they don't have a first-round pick, but still, I mean, we're getting to the time of year, like with Khalil Herbert, when injuries might not be a worst-case scenario, but teams that are dead in the water can choose to protect guys from themselves and just get them ready for off-season activity. Even with the Rams bottoming out, Kupp was an elite fantasy option. It's now realistic we don't see him again this year, and despite Van Jefferson scoring, I really just don't see somebody stepping up and producing anywhere close to Kupp's level. In our second wide receiver spot, we have further confirmation on a positive update for Jerry Judy. That bizarre ankle injury that we've heard about that he had, it's a muscle behind his ankle, which our Dr. Edwin Porras thought was either his peroneal tendon or calf muscle. Well, Coach Nathaniel Hackett said Judy is officially day-to-day. It is a minor injury. And what I'm wondering is, if it's just a minor ankle sprain, why was all the lingo, the parlance used about the injury being behind Judy's ankle? Not really sure, but the fact of the matter is it's minor. He's got an opportunity to play this coming week in week 11. I don't know if I would guarantee that, given Judy's injury history. And if he doesn't play, I mean, you're going to get excited about Kendall Hinton. I mean, Russell Wilson talked him up, but I don't know. This offense stinks anyway, so I'm not exactly rushing to the waiver wire. And in our flex spot, we have lost one of the most reliable tight ends in fantasy. The Eagles' Dallas Goedert is, quote, expected to miss extended time with a shoulder injury suffered Monday night, according to NFL Network's Mike Garafolo. Goedert was injured on a missed face mask call and lost a fumble on the same play, which was understandable given his body was twisted into a pretzel. So it was a hugely consequential sequence for the Eagles. For Garafolo, this is not a season-ending injury, but it's a critical loss for both the Eagles and for fantasy as we lose one of the 3 most reliable fantasy tight ends. Now, as of recording, Dallas Goedert has not been placed on IR, but it seems like that is a possibility, which would at least knock him out the next 4 weeks. Goedert going down the same week as his former teammate Zach Ertz out in Arizona, who went out for the season with a knee injury, that's just an additional bummer because we lost 2 of the most reliable tight ends for fantasy this week. Now, the Eagles do have some talented young players in rookie Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stoll, and former quarterback Tyree Jackson, but none of those guys can come close to producing like Goedert. I'm Joe Dolan. This has been the Fantasy Points Daily Lineup on a hump day. Get over that hump. Well, I'm looking forward to getting over the Thanksgiving hump. That's when we really start to see the playoff stretch for fantasy football. Now, if you want to really get your team in best shape as we head to that push, go to fantasypoints.com, use code lineup22 to get an extra 10% off on your DFS package, your standard package, your betting package, whatever you want. That code will get you an extra 10% off. Thank you, everybody. Hope it's a nice fall day. If you're in the Northeast, stay dry, stay out of the snow. Have a good one, everybody.